Everyone knows these Fuji's film recipes are really good. But how good are they really? Well, that's something that I'm here to find out. I decided to compare JPEG photos shot with this Fuji X100VI using the film recipe Kodak Portra 400 provided by Fuji X Weekly and an actual Kodak Portra 400 film photos shot with a 35mm camera. For the film camera I'm using Contax T2 since I feel like it kinda suits the cause well, since they are both pretty high-end everyday carry cameras from few decades apart. For these cameras I can also use auto settings for aperture and shutter speed and keep the ISO steady 400. So no intentional overexposing this time. This video was shot during one of my work trips to Los Angeles, but this time I brought my waifu with me. My first impressions? This film recipe is actually pretty good. I did expect there to be differences with grain and maybe the softness of the photos, but the usage of different cameras and lenses will naturally provide different kind of results. But color-wise and with the overall feel, I think these first photos are very much comparable. I would say the real film might have a little bit more green or yellow hue to it. This old-looking car repair shop is one of my favorite places to go and take photos. They always have such a nice old classic cars lifted up there, and the overall mood is just something I like to take photos of. As you might tell, I did end up cropping both film photos and the JPEGs to 4:5, but that's the only edit I made to them. Otherwise, they are straight out of camera and film scanner. The weather was pretty overcasty later that day, and I feel like from this moment the JPEGs were a little bit less contrasty compared to the actual Portra 400 film photos. Not by much, but still noticeable. I would maybe increase the contrast on the recipe a little bit. I tried to make these photos as similar and comparable to each other as possible by standing still and making sure that the cropping was same for both cameras. But that said, I think it goes without saying that this is definitely not one of those highly scientific comparisons or anything, rather than just a fun experiment for myself that I wanted to share with you. So, I guess the real question on everyone's mind is, which one is better? Or which one do I prefer? And the obvious answer is, it depends. For example, here I think I like the real film photo much better, but in some cases the added details and data in general just adds more value to those digital JPEG photos. The look and feel of a film photo is something that people have tried to mimic ever since the first digital cameras came to the market, and these film recipes or film emulations provided these modern cameras, especially Fuji Film, are a real good and honestly affordable solution to achieve that nostalgic and familiar film look. And by affordable, I'm not saying these cameras are cheap by any means. But since the film prices are constantly going up, having a film photography as a hobby really adds up quite rapidly. I would still always recommend shooting film to everyone even slightly interested in taking photos. It's just something that really helps you to understand how cameras really work and what it takes to actually create a beautiful photo. But that's it. We were lucky to spend our first 4th of July there with our friends during that trip, and for those fireworks I will also end this video. I will also add my own version of the Portra 400 film recipe provided by Fuji X Weekly with slightly altered values. This is the recipe I ended up saving to my camera. Hope you enjoy it and see you next time.
Sanoo sille, että häntä vähän, sanoi sen jossain vaiheessa leffaa, että häntä vähän hävettää se, että hänen lempiartisti on Katy Perry.